Good evening and welcome to our second of our Keele University clearing webinars, where tonight we'll be discussing all things clearing and answering any questions that you've got. So if you do have a question for either of my two guests, pop it in the chat and I'll ask it as we go through tonight's stream. But first of all, I'll get them to introduce themselves. So starting with you, Sam. Do you want to give us a quick intro?
Yeah, I'm Sam Lesniak, so I'm Head of Applicant Marketing and Communications at Keele.
Andy.
And hello everyone, my name's Andy. I'm Head of UK Student Recruitment and Access here at Keele and look after clearing for us as well.
Fantastic. So we'll start nice and easy. And just first of all, can you remind us what clearing is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good place to start. So for clearing is basically the end of the undergraduate admissions process, the final stage of the UCAS application process. Now, for lots of you, it may have already started. For some of you, it may be something you're thinking about over the next few weeks or so. But I just wanted to talk briefly about the kind of student who's in clearing and the type of person who might be considering clearing. In effect, it's an opportunity to gain a university place at a late stage of the application process. And that could be for a number of reasons. So you could be applying for the first time to university, so applying direct to university through clearing. That was the large proportion of students last year applying through clearing. You might be looking to change your mind over the next few weeks. You might be thinking you apply for somewhere initially, you've got a firm choice in mind, but you want to do something different. So you might be in that position. You might end up disappointed when you get your results and not have met the conditions of the offer where you want to study, and then you might be looking for alternatives. You might not have any offers and then want to go again into the pool, or you might have done really well in your results, got much better grades than you expected, and want to again look at different university options. So there's lots of different types of student who could be in clearing. The key that we always say, and we'll say this probably a million times tonight, it's about having your results to be able to apply to university. So different to the rest of the admission cycle, and now you're applying with your results. So for example, if you're in Scotland and you got your results yesterday, you can apply for university places with your results that you've already received. For lots of students in England and Wales, you'll be getting your results next week on Thursday, and that will be your opportunity to make that application. So in a nutshell, when we get to this stage of the application process, we find universities, we can make really quick decisions, can't we? We tend to know if we've got any spaces available, and by knowing the academic profile of students applying through clearing, we know what they've achieved, we know how likely they are then to be successful on our courses, and we know exactly how many spaces we'll have for September. So it's a really good chance for us to kind of have another chance to talk to you about what your options might be, really. So that's kind of roughly how that clearing process works. The only downside is you do have to wait for your results. So for at the minute, I think the best thing to start thinking about is planning what you might do if your results change from what you think you're going, if you're looking to change your mind, if you're looking to apply directly through clearing. So at the minute, it's all about having a look. I say you might be in Scotland and have your results. You might have studied courses that have results already, and in that case, you can already apply to us through clearing. For everybody else, it's about taking the time, hopefully joining us tonight as well and doing a bit of research and working out that process, really.
Fantastic. So lots of information and lots for people to be doing then. So if we're a week away now from A-level results, so what should people be doing to prepare if you're thinking of applying to Keele through clearing?
I think the main thing at the minute is having a look at some options and trying to come up with a range of different scenarios and different plans. So if you're in that position where you think you know where you might be going, you feel kind of confident in your choices, confident in how your exams and assessments have gone, and you feel confident in your grades, it's worth just having a little backup and having a think about what it is that you might want to do if it doesn't all go to plan. So that's the main thing to start doing. Lots of universities will have their clearing vacancies on their websites already. We're keele.ac.uk/clearing. You'll hear that many times throughout the evening, particularly from you, Sam. So if you want to go and see what courses we may still have places and spaces on, they're on our website. There are lots of other university websites as well. We always say, and it might be a bit too late for this, but try not to be on holiday if you're thinking of being around when you get your results. That's the easiest thing to do if you're kind of where you normally live It can make navigating this process a lot easier. And we did mention that at our first clearing webinar, so if you booked one since then, you might be a bit more difficult for you next week. But we normally say just be around, have a few different options. Think about some course that you might want to do related to your area of study. So if it does pan out that you're doing something different, your grades have changed, they've moved around a little bit, what other options might be good ones for you if you were in a position of changing your mind? If you have already changed your mind, look for places that offer those courses. So again, we've got all of ours listed on our website that we have availability for, and lots of other universities have that as well.
Fantastic. And it might seem strange at the moment for students in the run-up to clearing, because they won't be getting much communication, if not any at all, from universities. Is that normal, and kind of why is that?
Yeah, totally normal. It happens every year, and it applies to all universities. It's UCAS embargo, so we can't talk to you about your offer during that period of time. For most of kind of English and Welsh qualifications, that starts at 8 o'clock this Friday morning, that runs all the way through to 8 a.m. on results day. So yeah, we can't talk to you about your application and your offer during that period at all, and neither can any other university. So yeah, if you're wondering why, I've not had an email from you for a week or two, or you ring and you want to ask a question about the status of your application, we can't speak to you about that. But that's the same across every single UK university. It's UCAS embargo, and don't worry about it, that's completely normal.
Fantastic. And just a reminder, if you do have a question for either Andy or Sam, pop it in the chat and I can ask it just after this Q&A section. So if you're applying for a place on the 14th of August, so next Thursday, what should you do on the day? What's your first port of call?
So there's two things that are going to be super important, and again, we'll hammer these for the rest of the session really. It's your results, and if you've already applied to university, your UCAS kind of hub result, if you like, and your UCAS status. So you need both, in effect, to be able to effectively manage the end stage of your UCAS application. So the first thing you should always do is check your UCAS hub for what's happened with your university place. There are a few different potential outcomes when you log on to that UCAS hub. So from 8 a.m. next Thursday morning, UK time, you'll be able to log in and see what's happened with your university choice. You might be placed at one of your choices. So that means either your firm choice or your insurance choice. You've met the conditions of your offer, and that's the place that you've been offered. You might have a course change offer. So these are, again, relatively common, that universities might have said, you haven't quite hit the grades for the course you initially wanted, but we have got a similar one that might be a good fit for you. So we offer you a course change. We very much do that here at Keele. If you're in that position, we'd also give you a call as well to talk you through your options. So that's one of the things we do here at Keele. You might be waiting for confirmation, so you might be in a position where actually we're still waiting for some information from you, so universities can't make a final decision on your application. Those tend to be rarer, but there might be some cases where that's the case. It might be that we're waiting for a level 2 or a GCSE result, and we need that to come through, so we can't fully confirm your place if you've not sent those through yet, which you often can't do because it's the week later. Or you might be in clearing. So the universities you've applied to are unable to confirm your place, offer you an alternative, and have considered your application as much as they can, and you're in that clearing position. So that's the first thing to do. Check your UCAS hub, make sure you understand what's happened with your application, and kind of go from there really. That's kind of, it can sometimes feel a bit strange then when you get your results, because sometimes the results that you think you've got might not match what you thought you needed for your UCAS place at university. So it can be that universities will confirm your place with slightly lower grades than they originally asked for. So that's why we always say to check both. We often get calls when we get students who've picked up their results, not checked their UCAS hub, and they're sort of a bit nervous, a bit panicked, because they might have just missed by one grade, but we're still willing to accept them onto the courses. Again, that happens every year. We do this all the time. What we tend to do is when we get your results, we'll have another look through. We'll see, kind of look at your personal statement, your reference, your whole application as one. And if you're just off maybe by a few, we might be able to still accept you on that course for that place. So that's why we say that those two things are kind of super important really, to both have your results and to have that UCAS hub position. If you're then in clearing, that's where the results become kind of your passport really to universities. There's lots of different ways to engage with universities. There's the traditional way over the phone. I still think that's probably the best way to do it. I know that's a bit old-fashioned, but if you give us a call, we can often have a really good conversation with you about your options and try and find the best fit for you. You can use our online form as well. We've got lots of different ways that you can engage, and lots of universities have as well. But if you've got your results, we can then have a conversation about whether we think you'll be successful on the course that you want to apply to. And that's the same for every university. So to apply to clearing, you have to have your results. So going back to what we were saying earlier, and I said I'd hammer the results bit home. If you're in Scotland, you could call us, not literally now, but tomorrow morning, and we'd be able to discuss an option for you.
You could go on the online form though right now.
Could do the online form right now, but I say I'm a bit old-fashioned. But if you're waiting for A-level results, you won't be able to kind of talk to us about clearing options until next Thursday from 8 o'clock when those results are released. So really, it's about having those two things. So if you're in clearing, you'll need your results. If you're being accepted to the university that you've already wanted to go to, the results kind of become less important because we'll have already factored that into that decision. So I think checking the both is the really key thing. Check that hub, and the hub will be right. So it will be the answer. Again, people get results and then think, is this quite right? If you're ever not sure, you can just give us a call and we'll do that check. So if you just want a bit of reassurance from your university, do just give us a ring and we'll be able to help you out. But if your UCAS hub says you're in, then congratulations, you're in. If you're not for whatever reason, make sure you get those results and say they become like your passport to the clearing process.
And so another question that we get quite a lot is that, is every course at Keele available through clearing? Are there specific courses that are, or specific courses that aren't, for example? So when you're applying through clearing, what are your options course-wise?
So on our website, you can look and find out right now. I think we can have a quick look at our website. Actually, I'll bring it up on the screen. We have got all of our current vacancies listed. Keep an eye on this because it will change kind of in the run up to results day, and then on results day itself, we update it throughout the day. In terms of how things might fill up. At the moment, we've got lots of courses that have got availability. There are some courses that are already closed and are full. So you can see here we've got medicine, pharmacy and radiography that are already full and have no vacancies. There's a waiting list for some other health courses, midwifery, nursing, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, and there's details on the website as well about kind of how that waiting list works. And then the vacancies then are listed kind of below that, and you can see what the course is, link through to the course page, and also tell you in terms of UCAS points how many points you're going to need. And for some courses there might be a little link to entry requirements because they might have slightly different entry requirements there, and we have a separate page on the entry requirements which will tell you specifically for some courses that have subject specific what you might need in those courses. But yeah, it's all on our website, and as we were mentioning a minute ago, you can either use the online form to apply now, or you can call us, and you've got options here as well in terms of calling us. At the moment, like you say, Andy, we're not open kind of as early in the morning as we will be, next week. So yeah, from next Thursday morning you can call us from 8 a.m. and we can start taking those calls and talking you through the process. Lots and lots of helpful people who've done this kind of thing, year after year, and so they know what they need to talk to you about and talk to you kind of, through the process if you want to have a talk on the phone. But you can just use the online form, and we know lots of people, find that to be quite convenient. They can pop their results in there, pop the details in there, and then, quite often we can make an offer quite quickly from the form or over the phone.
And do either of you remember the number?
Oh,
you can't look.
Oh no, it's just, I think
I can never remember.
01782 491120.
Correct. Well done. Thank you for that. That was brilliant. So another thing that students applying might find odd is that they're applying to a university that they might not have considered throughout their entire application journey at all, or if they're now deciding they want to go to university again, they might not have visited any organisations or institutions and had a look at the campus. So for Keele, if you're suddenly decided you're interested and you've missed all of our previous open days, what's your best option to really get to grips with the campus and the environment here?
If you can, there's an open day on the 16th of August, so that's the Saturday immediately after A-level results day. And I highly recommend if you can come along. It's a great way to get a feel for the campus. You'll be able to meet academics from, you know, the course that you applied for. There'll be student ambassadors around that you can talk to about what it's like to kind of be a student at Keele. So yeah, that's a great opportunity to come to that open day and really get a feel for whether Keele's the right place for you if you've not visited us before, and if you've not had a chance to kind of really get to know us a little bit before now. If you can't make the open day on Saturday, we have got campus tours that are taking place on the Thursday and the Friday and the Sunday. Just checking. No, you don't need to book, and they're 9 to 5 on both days. So campus tours, you can just sort of pop along and have a look around our university, and our accommodation's open as well then, so you'll be able to have a look at some of the accommodation options that we've got, as well as have a feel for the campus. They won't have the full kind of academic side of an open day that we would have on the Saturday, and that'll be more just sort of like the campus environment and buildings and all of the, you know, lovely things you can explore on campus, as well as some of the accommodation options. But yeah, the open day on Saturday is a really good opportunity, and we get lots of students come to us every year to that open day in August who are thinking of coming to us through clearing. Sometimes people who are have applied much earlier in the cycle and just want to come and have another little look around again, because they might, it might not be too far away for them. They're just getting excited about starting in September. So there's always quite a good number of students for this September who'll be coming to this August open day, as well as people who are interested in kind of the next year for 2026.
So if you want to come for the campus tours only, do you head to Union Square, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got the gazebo in Union Square. So that's just sort of in the centre of campus. If you are driving onto campus, or if you're getting the bus onto campus, it's quite obvious where to go. It'll all be signposted as well, kind of getting down there and finding the middle of campus, and then be taken on a tour from there.
Fantastic. And then also there's accommodation as well. So on the open day you can see some of our accommodation. But if you're applying through clearing, is it too late anyway to apply for accommodation? And if you're moving onto campus or into the local area, what are your options there?
So we always save some rooms in clearing every year for students who going to be joining us at that point in the year. So we will have some rooms available. We'll have rooms of every type. So at Keele we have different types of room, from ensuite and shared flats and houses to standard plus and things like that. All the information's on our website, on the accommodation pages. Actually, you can just here on the website, we've got a little bit of information about accommodation for clearing applicants. So we have this information about a guarantee. You're going to be guaranteed a place in either university owned, managed or approved accommodation. So if it is that you wanted to live on campus and we couldn't find you somewhere on campus, we will support you in finding something that's managed or approved off campus. And if you follow the link through to the accommodation pages, you can have a look at the types of accommodation that we've got on there. And there's a little bit of information here about how you apply through clearing, the timescales involved in applying for accommodation through clearing. You do need to wait a little bit of time after you've accepted your offer in clearing to be able to apply for accommodation. It's usually about 48 hours, just so your kind of will be registered by the system, and it will recognise you to be able to make that application through. But yeah, our accommodation team will be around during the clearing period, after results day, on the open day as well. So if you've got questions, you can always get in touch and speak to them. But yeah, there is on-campus accommodation still available for people who apply to us at that point of the year. If not, we will support you to find somewhere in own a university managed or approved accommodation in the local area, and that is within, usually, kind of down in Newcastle under Lyme. There's quite a lot of student accommodation in that area, which is about 15 minutes on the bus, I think. It's very close, and it's where a lot of our sort of second and third year students will live when they go and tend to live off campus in second and third year, and they'll live in that local area. So yeah, there's lots of choices and lots of availability. We do have quite a lot of students who live at home and commute into Keele and come to study with us, and again, we've got support available for those students as well. So if it is that you're just going to be maybe getting the bus to Keele or driving, and you live sort of in the local local area. We've got people who could live in kind of Newcastle and use the cycle path to come up to Keele to study. There's still lots and lots of stuff going on for those students who
Absolutely.
don't live on campus. So whether it is that you're looking to live on campus or in the local area, or you're already living in the local area and thinking about Keele as an option for you, there's loads of great things happening from a student life point of view that you can get involved in. Things to do with the Students' Union, with the sports centre, societies and clubs that you can get involved in, and lots of support that we put in place to also support those the students who live in the local area and commute in to Keele.
Fantastic. Well, that's all the questions that I had for you both. We'll move on to any of our pre-submitted ones and also the ones that have come through in the chat. So now is your chance. If you do have a question for either Andy or Sam, ask it now in the chat and we can get through those as we go. So first one is, could you explain how the clearing process works for a student who's received an offer but didn't meet the conditions? Would they still be considered or prioritised in clearing?
Yeah, so what we would normally do is, this is where you can get these different kind of outcomes, if you like, through the UCAS process. So let's say, for example, you were studying an A-level and you were asked for ABB in your A-levels to come and study with us. What might happen is you get BBB on the day, so you haven't quite met the conditions of your offer. Now, what we do behind the scenes, ready for you 8 o'clock on Thursday, is we've already reviewed that application. So we might go BBB, 1 grade off, it's still a good application, we've got a good personal statement here, good reference. We would still think this student will be really successful on the course. What would happen then is when you go on to, we would our end go, yes, we're still happy to confirm that place for you. What would happen then, when you log on to your UCAS hub, it will say, congratulations on, you've been successfully placed at Keele University. They'll see you in September, and then you'll start getting all the fantastic comms that Sam's team work on coming through. You'll then might get your grades and go, oh, that looks a bit different to what I was expecting. I was needing ABB, but I got BBB. But the reassurance piece is that we've done that work for you. We've already considered you to that point. So if you're slightly off and we're still happy to accept you onto the course, again, this varies from course to course. It varies from university to university. We might accept you straight away. We might make one of those course change offers that I mentioned before. So say you were quite a way off for a certain course. We thought we don't think this is going to be a good fit for them based on their attainment level. We might suggest another course to you as an alternative, or we might suggest something entirely different and not be able to take you. What we do at Keele as well is we automatically consider you for our foundation year. So an additional year of study to help prepare you to kind of go into the old traditional year one of a 3-year degree. So we'd often give you that option as well if you wanted to secure a place at Keele. The foundation year is often a good route if you're looking for that. So in terms of that not meeting the conditions, often you might not need to use clearing at all if you didn't want to. One, we'd consider those near misses anyway, so we'll do that for you and hopefully still be able to place you. If we haven't been able to, we might look at an alternative course. We would often look at the foundation year as well. Other universities might be slightly different, but they all follow a similar pattern really. It might be that then you're in clearing, both your firm and insurance choice have been unable to accept you, and that's the point you're in clearing really. At that point, that's when you need to kind of initiate that backup plan and start making contact with universities. I guess the other thing we could mention is you can also choose to be in clearing. So if you don't want to go to the university you've said you wanted to, you can use the decline my place button on UCAS and choose to put yourself into clearing and then go look at different options as well. So there's always that approach too.
Am I right in thinking that you said to never decline a place until you've got another offer?
Absolutely, yeah. Over the years.
You've taught me well.
Yeah. So we always say on that decline my place. Good point, Tom. You can get as many clearing offers as you want. So when you call up universities who can make you a verbal offer over the phone or through a web form, you can get as many of those offers as you want. I would always say if you have a university place, hold on to it until you've secured those other offers. At that point, you could then hit the decline my place button, but once you've declined your place, that cannot be undone. So I think UCAS's number one phone call they got to their contact centre last year was people who went, I've declined my place, I can't get it back. And they go, yes, because you've declined it. So you do have to jump through about 3 are you sures. Please tick this box that you are definitely sure to make sure that you can. But yes, that's what we'd always recommend. Think about your options, get the university offers in first. If then you've been successful in securing the offers, you can decline that place in UCAS and swap for your clearing offer at that stage.
And that kind of leads us on to another question that we've had, which you've kind of answered there. Is it common for a student who's gotten a conditional offer but missed out by 1 grade to still get a confirmation of their place to study at Keele? And just kind of tagging on to that then, if for example, you say we kind of consider all the options, is it worth, if you've missed out and you've been declined at Keele, is it still worth trying to go through clearing, or will we have thought through every option for you, including foundation?
They're 2 very different questions, I think.
Oh, yes, please. I'm not trying to decide that again. I'm just giving you 2 questions to go with.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So 2 scenarios.
So basically, you kind of covered it in your answer before. That is it common for a student who's got a conditional offer, missed out by 1 grade, to still get a confirmation? And then also, you obviously said that we go through all of our considerations at the point where we get your results.
Yeah.
So is it still worth calling up, even if we decline your first offer?
In that first scenario where you have applied to Keele, you've got a conditional offer and you're waiting, gets to results day, and you have missed a grade, let's say, on that conditional offer, is it common to still get your place to study at Keele? It depends on the subject, I would say. Yeah. There are, like Andy's mentioned before, there will be times where we'll be looking at that application again, we'll be looking at your personal statement, we'll be seeing other things around, your application to see, is this still going to be the right course for you at this level of study? For lots of our courses, I think we would have that flexibility with 1 grade, but certainly not all of them. So it really does depend on the course. But I would say if you do miss by 1 grade, don't panic. Go and have a look in UCAS Hub first. Yeah. See if you've got that offer there. If it is that we've had to make a changed offer, so offer you something slightly different, or offer you the course with the foundation year, and then if you want to talk to us about that, we absolutely can have that conversation. The second situation in which you have applied for Keele at a previous point in the year, and then if you've been rejected, then should you then apply again in clearing? What are your chances of applying clearing? That's a question for you.
Yeah, generally speaking, we do try and consider every single option. Yeah. I would always say there's no harm in picking up the phone. I think as a general rule, my colleagues on the other end of the phone may not be pleased about that, but I'd always say...
I do quote that Andy told you to call.
Yeah, exactly. You can say that for free. But I don't think there's any harm in the conversation. So what we'll often do, using the course change as an example, because of the way the admission system works, we can only offer you 1 alternative. It might be that you go, I don't really want that alternative, but there's a different course, almost a third option that I really would want, and that's where a phone call is always useful. Yeah. So what we're planning to do on Thursday morning is the students that we are going to make these course change offers to, we're going to give you a call and we're going to say, we've made you a course change offer, we thought this would be a good fit for you. Are you happy with it? Have you got any questions? But also, is there an alternative that you'd rather do? Shall we explore that option for you? So that's how we're going to approach that process. So I don't think there's any harm in asking the question. There are certain subject areas where if we are full, we are going to be full. So to use that medicine example, Sam, that if it's full, it's full. And realistically, the chances are going to be really, really slim of anything happening. Now, we're about to get results, aren't we, over the next weekend, and that's why we can't talk to you, because we'll have your results before you do. That picture may change. It will change throughout the day as well, won't it? So it will check, what we've got available at 8 a.m. may not be what we've got available at midday. So really worth, kind of, universities move quite fast in this space. And this is why I think it's brilliant that people are tuning in tonight, having a good kind of research of their options. Make sure you've got good ideas going into your results to give yourself the best chance, really. If you're not sure, just give us a call and we'll be able to talk you through it. But we do try absolutely everything we can to offer you a place at Keele. If then that's not quite the right fit for you or the right course option for you, that's a conversation we're really happy to have.
An interesting one around courses with interviews as well on them. It's quite a specific question that I'm not sure you'll be able to answer this this person's question directly. They've asked, what if you fail in the personal statement side of your application, but then you apply to the course through Clearing, will they reconsider you? But more so, if your course has an interview that you're applying through Clearing to, how does that work? Would you still have to go through the interview process?
Yes, but a lot of our courses that interview are already full. So not all, there are still some, but I would say the majority of the courses that interview at Keele are now already full, or on a waiting list, and will be full, probably at some point. So in terms of if it does have an interview, that's going to happen throughout the day, kind of later on, and make the arrangements.
Yeah, so what would happen is if you again, I'm using the phone example, but the same kind of applies on the form. You kind of go through the process with potentially someone from my team or Sam's team or across university. We kind of take those initial details away, and if you meet those kind of entry requirements on the academic side, you'd then be passed kind of to our colleagues to do a phone interview with you. So that's the way we'd normally do it. So for example, paramedic science would be an example, because I remember I was doing it last year. I spoke to someone who wanted to do paramedic science. I can still remember them. And then I went and literally I took their name, I think, to Kevin, our paramedic lecturer, and then Kevin kind of called them up and had a conversation with them around a more of an interview style conversation, to see if they were a good fit, really. That is often tricky where if you've applied in the main scheme and not been shortlisted, again, it will depend on the vacancies that we've got available, really. So if we've got space, you'll know about it by 8 o'clock Thursday morning, and give us a call. But we will update the website, won't we, with the latest vacancies. So for something like children's nursing at Keele, that's very, very popular and highly oversubscribed, we're unlikely to have vacancies, but we'll only be able to tell you for definite by 8 o'clock Thursday morning.
Fantastic, thank you for that. The question around conditional offer missed out by 1 grade was someone relating to medicine. I'm guessing the answer to that is probably not, is it? It's highly unlikely.
It's incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, it's so hard to say.
Yeah. But it's why check the website. Is
check your UCAS hub.
Check your UCAS hub if you're holding an offer and you do miss by 1 grade. Check your UCAS hub and see what the status is there.
Yeah, I think as a general rule of thumb, if we've asked for an A star and 2A, then every single person who put us as a firm has got an A star and 2A, and you got 3 A's, the answer will be no, because everybody else has got the grades. Until we have those grades in our hands, we just don't know. So it's really, really difficult to say. I say it's unlikely because we know how high performing students are, but your UCAS hub will have that answer for you.
Stranger things have happened. We've had a question around Masters in January intake. It's not the stream that we're doing tonight, unfortunately, but if you do check the website, you can find out all about our courses on there, including scholarships and bursaries as well. But a question that we get quite a lot is, if you're joining us through Clearing, how many students follow that process? Will you be one of not many or one of many?
I think it's fair to say one of quite a few. If that's somewhere down the middle, we're incredibly used to welcoming students through Clearing every year here at Keele. So we've had years where 1 in 4 of our undergraduate students will come through Clearing. That's not uncommon for us, and we know that we get lots of students who are initially interested in Keele come back round to us when they get their results. They might have been to an open day, been a bit unsure, change their mind, circumstance change, come back through. Or students who've never engaged us ever before, who suddenly appear at Clearing time, and we're really, really pleased to hear from them as well. We really try and make sure that every student receives kind of a really strong and comprehensive transition and welcome package. Again, your team work on that all the time, don't they? In terms of what comms you'll get through, you won't miss out on anything. That accommodation is still available, so you still get the on-campus experience where we can. So we very much try and deliver the same student experience. The other bit to mention is that there's no kind of clearing wristband when you go in on day one. No one would know that you came through clearing.
You don't go
or
through a
any
different door?
point. No, there's no separate door. There's no difference in effect. You're welcome to tell people kind of how you ended up at Keele. That's entirely up to you to share your story with who you want to. But your lecturers won't know. The people you're living with won't know any difference. So it's very, very common. We have loads of students through clearing, and no one would know how you got here anyway. I don't think.
My favourite student story that we've had so far this year has been our student of the year, who came to us through clearing.
There you go.
Yeah, we'd done a piece with her about the fact that she was student of the year, and it wasn't part of that kind of story.
We didn't know,
it wasn't kind of a part of the story of like what she'd done in terms of her success at Keele. She'd had a phenomenal time, and really sort of done really, really well. But yeah, as it turned out, she came to us through clearing, and she'd been a mature student who decided that actually she did want to go back to and do a degree, that she'd not had the chance to do that earlier on. So she's just a little bit older than sort of like the 18-year-old typical coming to us as an undergrad. Yeah. Came student of the year.
Lovely.
Came to us through clearing. So yeah, it's like you say, there's no difference once you're here, and whether you came to us through clearing or not. It's like all the opportunities are there.
Fantastic. Now, if you are going to pick up the phone and be brave, like Andy said, what information is best to have at hand before you do that?
This one for me.
Oh, sorry, for you,
Sorry.
Sorry, confused.
I'm not brave enough for the phone.
It's really a question. No.
He just wants you to use it, but it's over to you now.
I think whether you're on the phone or whether you're using the online form, you're going to need your UCAS ID and you're going to need your results. As you keep, we keep saying, you're definitely going to need to have your results. Whoever you speak to on the phone is perhaps just going to ask you a few questions about your results, the courses that you're interested in, what we've got available, and quite often, once you've had that conversation about what your results are and what you're interested in, we can make you a verbal offer there and then over the phone. If it is, like we mentioned earlier, if it's for a course that requires a little bit more information, maybe needs sort of a conversation with the academic lead for that area and program director, an interview, like you say, things like your paramedic science, things like that. We might need to refer and get someone else to call you back, but quite often we can make you an offer over the phone. We'll then basically follow up with an email offer, and that's where you've kind of got a bit of time, and it'll say that in the email, to respond to that offer. Once you are ready to accept that offer, that's when you go back into UCAS Hub, and then you add your clearing choice in UCAS Hub when you've got that offer from us. And this is the part where we keep saying about, if you're already holding something in clearing, if you've got a place, an offer that you're already holding, making sure you've got those other offers through before you decline anything else is really, really important. But as you said at the start, in theory, you could get as many kind of verbal offers and then email offers from different universities as you sort of wanted, and have a little bit of time to think about it, and then you decide which one you want to refer into UCAS and which one you're going to go and add as your clearing choice in UCAS. You can do that from 1 o'clock. Yes. 1 o'clock. You can do that from 1 o'clock on the Thursday, where once you've decided, very, very busy in the morning typically, lots of universities are going to be getting lots of calls. We're always incredibly busy early on from a phone line point of view, so that might be where you might want to sort of pop things onto the online form. But if you want to ring us and speak to us, and be delighted by Tom's lovely voice on the hold line while you're waiting to speak to somebody, you can speak to us in the morning. And then once you've made your decision from 1 o'clock, you can then go and add that choice in UCAS in the afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing that it's from 1 o'clock. I think actually you could feel quite nervous. If you rang us at 8:10 and got your offer straight away, I think the temptation is to want to add that straight into your UCAS account and kind of go. The whole point of making you wait a little bit is just to make sure you're happy. You don't make a rash decision. You can go look at alternative options. You've got a bit of time to wait and make sure you're happy and everything else. We won't be saying you need to kind of confirm your place within 24 hours. We say about 3 days.
Yeah.
And we know that gives them people time to come on the open day.
So is that kind of a rule? So you don't. I often feel that the hustle and bustle of A-level results day and clearing especially can make you feel like you've got to make a decision within the hour. That's not true. Kind of how long have you got really to kind of really sit with it and have a think Is it 3 days?
For us, yes. I'm not sure about all of the universities. They might be slightly different.
Yeah.
Or are these at standard?
It's not standard
Right.
at all. So for us, we say 3 days, and that's normally because of the open day. We want to give people that opportunity to come and visit. You can't do anything on UCAS before 1 o'clock, and that's standard across every university. Different universities will have different rules here. I think the thing to be mindful of is that capacity can move. So what we'll do is when we make those offers going out, it's only when you then accept it that we know you're definitely coming. So when you add it through UCAS, we know that you're definitely coming to us. That's often why universities have those time constraints. So for us, we think around 3 days. We're confident we'll still have the space. But if you were kind of waiting 2 weeks to come back to us, we might have filled that course and that time by everybody that's already kind of rung up. And again, universities will operate slightly differently in that space and those timelines. So I think the key thing is if you've got the plan in place beforehand, your rush is to get the offers in, get them in, but your decision, you've often then got a bit of time to have a think. And I think that's the key thing. Yes, go fast, hustle, bustle, as you say, Tom, but don't rush the actual then decision. Make sure it's going to be the right fit for you.
Fantastic. We've got about 5 or 10 minutes left, so if you do have a question for either Andy or Sam, please do pop it in the chat and I can ask it. We've got a question around, is a course oversubscribed? As Sam said, the best thing to do is go to keele.ac.uk/clearing, and you can see all the list of vacancies on there, and they go updated daily, even throughout the day on A-level results day, I imagine.
On A-level results day, we update that page throughout the day. We also update the online application form, so that form will also have updates in terms of what's not available anymore as things do fill up. So as we sort of progress into the afternoon, it will say on there whether something's got any vacancies left.
So kind of final one from me, well, penultimate one from me actually, is how soon will you know if you've got a place through clearing at Keele? How quick will that be?
It's pretty quick, really. Kind of as you were saying, Sam. If we can do it all over the phone there and then, particularly for non-interviewing courses, we can be pretty fast at kind of making those decisions. But by having your grades, what we've got years of data and insight around how students perform on our courses. So students have come in with A levels, BTEC, T levels, all those different ones. We know how they perform. We know the grades they tend to get at the end. We know the kind of support we need to put in place to help students from different backgrounds at different grade and entry points. So it means we can be pretty confident in terms of the grades that we then ask for students in clearing. So it helps us make a very, very quick decision. Some of those interview ones, I say, they might take a bit longer if we've got them available and if they can make those decisions for you. But I say we do have people on hand to interview during the day on Thursday and Friday and into the next week if needs be as well. So we do try and make sure we can facilitate that as quickly as possible to get you an answer as quickly as possible. And as I say, once you've got that offer in your hand, that's what allows you to then accept those offers. But I say a lot of it's pretty quick, isn't it? We can do that pretty quickly.
Amazing. So finally from me then, before we wrap up, is from both of you, what's your top piece of advice for someone who is about to get the results next week, and a piece of advice for someone who gets the grades that they want and gets the offer that they're looking for, and then a piece of advice for someone who doesn't? If you can give us two, that'd be great. Thanks. Sam, you first.
Thanks, first. If you are currently holding an offer for Keele and next Thursday you get the results that you need and you get your place confirmed with us, congratulations. We can't wait to welcome you to Keele in September. My piece of advice to you would be, when you get here, join a club or society. That's my top tip every single year.
Just to say that, Andy, you if that was yours, you've got to scratch it.
Okay, I'll reopen the paper.
Yeah, it is a good tip. So we have got loads and loads of clubs and societies at Keele. If you are interested in something and we don't have a club or society for it, the SU will support you to get one set up, and lots of students get loads of like leadership experience by running the committees and things like that. So loads of different sporting clubs, lots of different interest-based societies, everything from kind of like the football and hockey and netball and all that sort of stuff, and then drama and music and aerial dance. There's so many different things that you can get involved with, and it's a great way to make friends. So whether you are living on campus or whether you are living in the local area and just coming onto campus, you know, for studying, joining a club or society is another opportunity for you to meet people, meet maybe like-minded people, or maybe slightly different, you know, that people that you have not, you know, had the chance to meet before, that you can get to know. And that's when, you know, when we chat to students every year about, you know, what some of their favourite things about Keele, clubs and societies are definitely up there, and it's generally their top recommendation as well in terms of making friends and helping you to kind of settle in. So that's my advice for you if you get the results and you're coming to Keele and you arrive with us in September. Go and join a club or society. I think you'll have a great time. The second question, if you don't get your results that you're expecting, am I answering this for someone who's got an offer at Keele, Tom, or someone who's got an offer elsewhere?
Oh, anywhere. Yeah.
It's two different answers. Obviously, if you have missed the grades that you needed, and you find yourself in clearing, I say don't panic. There's still lots of opportunity for you. There's still lots of, you know, universities that might be able to consider you for a place. You know, if it is that you're holding an offer at Keele and you miss the grades for that course, it's, you know, maybe we can offer you like the foundation year. That's quite a common thing. We have lots of people who do a foundation year with us, and so I would say probably the top tip for us is if you miss your grades at Keele and you're offered the foundation year, try that. I would say go for that. You know, we have a really well established foundation year at Keele. It's been running for a long time. We have hundreds of students who do the foundation year, you know, each year, and it's a great pathway in terms of then building up your academic knowledge and your academic skill to be ready to then go into that first year of undergraduate study. There's an entire, you know, entire foundation year team who are there to support and teach and nurture you through to being ready to go on to that undergraduate level of study. And if you do the foundation year, then you pass the foundation year, you guarantee the progression onto the undergraduate program of your choice. So yeah, I'd say, you know, all is not lost if you don't get the grades that you were hoping for, and there'll be different doors that might open just because one closes. As cliched as it sounds, you know, another one will open, and things do kind of work out for the best sometimes, and you'll get different opportunities that might come along. I feel like my advice has been great.
Yeah,
Good
no
luck,
pressure. So I think if you've managed to get the place that you wanted, again, hopefully it's Keele, and we can't wait to see you in September, to quote Sam.
Yeah.
But I think kind of allow yourself to celebrate it, I think would be my bit of advice.
Yeah.
So, and then whatever that looks like for you, you've worked really hard, and it's really difficult. And I actually think level 3 study, so that's again A-level, BTEC, T-level, college, school, I think it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
I think the pressure's huge. There's lots going on in your life at the same time. Actually, if you come to university, the way you're going to study will be completely different, and it might really suit you because you're going to be doing something you're super passionate about in one direction. So I think celebrate it, enjoy it, make the most of the rest of your summer, and kind of just start preparing yourself for that transition, really.
Look forward to our emails.
Look forward to our
Which we all
emails.
get.
Sam spent loads of time putting
Writing
it
them
together,
all.
so read those
Yeah.
as my 1.2 bit of advice.
Yeah. They will start on the week following results day. Once you've got your place confirmed, you'll get a series of welcome emails, and the welcome emails will tell you all the things you need to do next, like, you know, ID and enrollment and pre-arrival stuff, and there's a little countdown to your start date in there and things like that. So yeah, every week you'll get then welcome emails with a series of sort of things to think about and do, and register with the GP and
All those
get your
exciting
vaccine, you know, all that kind
Wow.
of stuff there. There's lots
So
of stuff.
exciting.
Yeah.
Really sold it.
But it's all in an email, so it's all there to help to guide you through that process, those next steps. Like you say, it's a really intense period of study. You know, if you at that level
definitely.
3, you've worked really hard for, you know, perhaps the 2 years that you've been doing those qualifications for. You know, I've I've got a son who's just in this position now. He's just finished his A-levels, and like it's been really, really intense. Like the A-levels are hard. Like they are really hard. And you know, you have put a lot of work in. So that's a great bit of advice, I think.
Pass that test.
Yeah. Celebrate and you know, acknowledge, I think, the work that's gone into that.
And on the flip side, if you haven't quite got the grades that you were looking for and you do find yourself in, I think just trying to be calm and not panic. There are loads and loads of options out there. Lots of universities are in clearing. Universities you might not have expected might be in clearing. There's loads of opportunity. Clearing many years ago did feel quite hustle and bustle, and it felt like it was moving really quickly, and it was all very competitive. Clearing's really changed. Like we said, you know, that lots of people going into clearing now, they might be applying for the first time. They might be just changing their mind. The type of student using clearing has really changed, and we know that, and we're really happy to speak to all different types of student. And we'll take our time with you. We'll try and talk to you about your options, and I'm sure lots of other universities will as well. So I think the key is to not panic, to not make any rash decisions. Hopefully, as I say, you're the kind of people who are watching this webinar, so you're already preparing, you're already getting ready. So that's great. So coming in with a little bit of a plan, a few backup ideas, hopefully should alleviate some of that stress on the day. But don't panic and don't rush. And just make sure you've explored all the right options and you've got the right fit, really. And if you need help, we're happy to do that. So you can head to keele.ac.uk/clearing. You've got our online form, you've got the phone number. No, Tom, I don't know it off the top of my head.
Go on, try it. No, let Andy try it.
I can't. 01782 and then the rest.
49.
The area code.
11.
20.
But it's all on keele.ac.uk/clearing. To do you on the team a call, we're more than happy to talk you through your options. And lots of other universities will as well. So the universities all over the country doing the same kind of things that we're doing. So just don't panic, take your time, and you'll get to whatever choice, wherever you end up, it will work out.
I think as well, if you don't get the results you wanted, I think still have a small celebration. You still completed your A-level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You still
celebrate.
went through it. And one thing I've learned from working in universities especially is there is no one route to university. There are many different routes through. So it is not the end at all. It's probably just the start of a different route that you weren't expecting. So definitely do celebrate.
Yeah.
Thank you both. That's been amazing. And what is very strange now is the next time that all three of us will speak to you is when you all know your results and you all know if you're A, coming to Keele, or B, whether you're applying through clearing or not. So that'll be exciting. So do join us on the day. We'll be outside the beautiful Keele Hall. Hopefully it won't rain. But even we'll be out there with umbrellas.
With a big umbrella, it'll be fine.
We'll join you there. Join us over on Instagram for that. So if you follow us on all the social channels now over the next week or so, there's lots of useful information to find on there. So at Keele University on any social media platform. You can follow us on there. Thank you both. I'll just do a quick wrap up now. So again, if you do want any more information, the best place to go is keele.ac.uk/clearing. And if you are interested in calling us, again, just to have a chat, give us a call on 01782 491120. And again, join us next week for A-level Results Day, where we'll be celebrating across all of our social media platforms as well. So if you do get in, please do tell us, and we'd love to share that. And come and join us outside Keele Hall at about 1 o'clock on our Instagram page, where we'll be talking through more clearing options. Again, if you've got any questions up from the day that arise, after you've got your results, you can join us in Instagram and ask them to either Andy or Sam, and we'll get those answered for you live. But other than that, good luck. We hope it goes the way that you're hoping, and if it doesn't, again, do celebrate a little bit, and then you can crack on with whatever route you then take from there. But hopefully we'll see a lot of you at Keele soon.